The new trailer for Daredevil Born Again Season 2 just dropped, and holy crap.
It's gonna get good.
This season looks really intense. In this video, I'm gonna give you my first thoughts, some details that you probably missed, and my prediction on what's gonna happen this season based on this trailer. Buckle up. What is up, guys? I'm Will, and this is Will's Cinematic Universe, where we talk about trailers, Easter eggs, fan theories, and me overthinking all of it so you don't have to. Let's break it down. Let's talk about the big things that the trailer gives us, and then we'll break down some of the small details that they snuck in here, and we'll talk about what I think they're gonna do this season. I'll be honest, guys, I haven't watched Born Again Season 1 in a long time, like I don't think since it first came out, so watching this trailer really reminded me I need to go back and watch that because there's a lot of connections that I just have forgotten from the first season. So if I get some things wrong from the first season, just bear with me and know that I'm gonna rewatch it again this week and I'll be better informed. Big thing in the beginning here is that Poindexter is back, and it makes me really think that we're going to get a real Bullseye in this season. They haven't shown him like in the suit or anything like that, but it really seems like he's coming back in the beginning of the show as a big villain in this season. I'm excited to see what they do with his character. I think he's gonna play a really important role in this whole theme of Matt's life falling apart in this season. We'll get to that in a second. In several of these shots, we see Matt and Karen back together, which is really sweet. We missed that in Born Again in Season 1, so I'm really excited to see them together again and fix whatever relationship problems that they have going on, because Karen is really an important part of Matt's character arc. Character arc, that's the right word.
Well, you know what I meant.
No, you messed it up. You're stupid.
But the one thing that you notice here is that all of the scenes with Matt and Karen are in this one, looks like a broken down building, because you can see like walls are deteriorating, there's like random boards, like the building is under construction. So maybe this is Matt's apartment after it gets attacked or something like that, but all of the scenes with the two of them are in this one place before Matt gets attacked by whatever this crazy weapon is. That could mean a few things. It could mean that we're only seeing shots from the first episode of Season 2, which in my opinion would be really cool if they're not giving away too much, but it also could mean that Karen and Matt are not together in the rest of the series, and this is just the one sweet scene that they shared this season. It could mean that Karen dies in this season. I don't know. Let me know what you think about that. I would hate that. That would be awful.
No! God, please, no!
The next big thing that we're gonna get in this season is the new suit. And guys, I absolutely love this. It really is fitting for Daredevil's character at this point, because in the beginning, he wanted to make a difference and he wanted to be good and he wanted to show that he was good. And even though he was wanting to build that fear amongst the criminal underground, he still wanted to have this look that was something that the public could see as the good guy. And now we see him kind of embracing this dark, more sinister side. And I'm not saying he's gonna be a villain or anything like that. You could also just argue that the black suit is much stealthier and easier to hide in. So I think that's a possibility too, but I love the little clips that we get of him in a solid black suit with just the red accents and the two D's on his chest, which is just the classic Daredevil look. And I know that because of leaked photos a few months ago, we already knew this suit was coming, which honestly kind of sucks. I've told you guys on this channel, I don't really want to do leaks and make content on the stuff that we're not supposed to know about yet. So I'm just now talking about this because we're finally getting the first actual look at this suit in this trailer, and I absolutely love it. I think it's way better than the red suit. Definitely better than the red and gold suit in She-Hulk, which, let's be honest, was kind of like mustardy. It wasn't a good look.
Mustard? Don't let's be silly.
The next big thing that we get out of this trailer is this impersonator of Kingpin. And I don't really know what this is about other than the filming of this looks really creepy and reminds me of some sort of ransom video or something like that. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the lighting. I don't know if it's because he's wearing a mask and that itself is creepy. But this seems to be some type of video that's going to be important to the plot. Later in the trailer, we see a clip of a poster going up that says that Matt is missing, and I almost wonder if Matt is going to be kidnapped or held hostage, and whoever this is behind this Kingpin mask is going to be the big bad of the season. I really don't think it's just going to be as simple as Kingpin and Bullseye coming back and kind of having a rehashing of the same thing, because that would just feel like kind of repetitive. But I think that we're gonna get some type of really sinister villain that we don't even know about yet. So I'm very curious to see the importance of this, but I think that this is really gonna tie into the plot. Okay, so some of the small and important details that you may have missed the first time watching this through, I had to slow a lot of this stuff down to really see it well. But this first one is when Matt and Karen are in this room, presumably his apartment that's been attacked. We see Matt get attacked, and whatever it is seems to be attacking his senses. And the thing that I notice here is that Karen is completely unfazed by this. She's really confused. She's almost like she's saying, Matt, what's wrong? Because she can't even hear whatever it is. So whatever this attack is seems to be like just killing Matt in the pain in his brain, which makes me think that it's really something to do with his senses that are being amplified, and it's not affecting anyone else. It seems like maybe whatever this is keeps happening because it makes it seem like the same thing is happening in the church scene with Jessica Jones, which we'll talk about in a minute. There's a lot of subtle clips in this trailer with the AVDF, the Anti-Vigilante Task Force that Fisk has put together, and they seem to be really running the city. We actually don't see any other police officers. It seems like they're the ones doing everything, and you see how they're interacting with the public. The public loves them. Like, they are really just the police officers now, and their main role is to hunt down and basically brutally torture vigilantes.
Good Lord.
This poster that shows that Matt is missing is really interesting to me and makes me think that this is at the beginning of the season, because it doesn't say that Matt is Daredevil. It only shows pictures of Matt, which makes me think that his identity has not been revealed, and it's not like the Vigilante Task Force is hunting down Daredevil, and that's what these posters are about. This is about Matt, the missing lawyer. So this is very interesting, and I think that it's going to play a role in the beginning where maybe the person that kidnaps him doesn't even know he's Daredevil. I'm not sure. So Jessica Jones is confirmed, and I love the way they did this in this trailer. I think that the clip that we're seeing in the trailer where she's walking into the church is actually the first scene that she's going to be in because of the way it follows her boots in, and then we see her face, and all the lighting is consistent with that scene. I'll be honest, I was not a big fan of the Jessica Jones series, especially like the first few episodes. I felt like were kind of slow. I felt like her character can be a tad cheesy, but I do really like her as a character when she's working with other people. There's something to do with like the comic relief of her interacting with people and her being like so serious and brash that actually makes it pretty funny, and it makes for a really interesting story arc for her to work with other people, which is why I really liked her in the Defender series. One of the biggest questions that I have out of this trailer is what is in these cages that we see here. This is kind of a weird shot because we see an armed guard in the middle and like two armed guards at the door, which makes me think like this is not just inside of a zoo or something like that. So I'm really wondering like who or what is in these cages. We see like as it plays, we only get a couple of frames of it, but something on the right maybe looks like it has a tail. You can't really make out whether it's people or animals, but this almost makes me think that there are several vigilantes, which we kind of saw rising up in season 1. And now several of them are going to be caught by the Vigilante Task Force, which really makes me think we might get several really good characters out of this from Marvel Comics. Maybe even from the MCU. We'll get to what I think is going to happen in this season in just a minute. But this is a really weird shot to end the trailer on. You just have this shot of Matt like looking up with a big smile on his face, and it looks like it's in the middle of a fight. So who is Matt smiling at here? And my first thought was maybe Jessica Jones. Maybe this is the first time he sees Jessica. But then when I went back and watched it with that shot in the church with all the red lighting that is pretty consistent, that looks like the first time we see Jessica because it shows her boots and her come in. So I don't think this would be the first time he's seeing her here. My next thought would be maybe Punisher. Maybe he has tried to get Punisher to help him with this, and maybe he is just so desperate that he really needs Frank's help, and he has asked and Frank has said no, and then Frank comes in to help him out and save the day. But knowing what we know about Spider-Man and the crossover, what if this could be Spider-Man here?
I don't know, like, surprise!
It might be a stretch, but it's definitely possible, especially if it's just a cameo. So what is my prediction on what's gonna happen this season? Well, I definitely think that this season is going to be the darkest that we've seen, which is really saying something because I said the same thing about the last season, and I think it's gonna get much worse. The last season really set the stage with Foggy's death in the beginning, and I think that we're going to continue with the tension between Fisk and Matt, and like, Fisk has already made so many threats against Matt, and there's really nothing holding Fisk back from just telling the world Matt's identity at this point. So I think that Matt's identity is going to go public, and I think that Fisk is going to really use that against him, and he's definitely going to be a wanted man. Even though technically Daredevil is already wanted anyway, but it's going to be a lot easier now that everybody knows he's Matt. I think that we're going to see Matt's life slowly fall apart. I think that his personal life is already starting to fall apart from season 1, and I think that's going to get a lot worse. In some of the comics that season 1 followed, that's exactly what happens. Fisk tells everybody his identity, everyone hates him, he's a wanted man, and he ends up basically being homeless on the street and having no one to turn to. I think that's why we are seeing the black suit in this season. I think that it really signifies that we're going to see a very dark and broken side of Matt. And I don't think it would be fitting for his character to really be a villain, but in reality, if the mayor of the city and the entire police force wants you dead and they become the bad guys, but in the eyes of the public, they're still the good guys, then yeah, he might have to be seen as the villain in order to beat Fisk and take on this corrupt system. To quote Harvey Dent,
"You either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain."
and I definitely think that's what we're gonna see here with Matt's character in this season. I think it's gonna be a really epic and awesome season, but I think there's gonna be some parts that are hard to watch because it's gonna be really heavy and dark. But what do you think? What do you want to see happen in this season? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you gained value from this video, then don't forget to like and subscribe down below for more videos like these. And let me know in the comments, what do you want me to break down next? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.